Welcome to the Know-It-All, where we run down a full week of news. I'm Ashley Jenkins, and let's cut through the pre-E3 drought to the really interesting stuff, shall we? There was a heist this week, for starters, for Amiibo. Or Amiibos, I'm actually still not sure how to pronounce the plural. Anyway, a truck carrying special edition copies of Splatoon for UK retailer Game was stolen, and the special editions in that truck contained an ultra-rare squid amiibo, which apparently can't be replaced. Game says instead they can only provide standard editions of the game with the Inkling Boy and Girl amiibo, and users who ordered the special edition will get a £10 discount, as if that's enough to make up for like the heartbreak of missing out on a rare amiibo. Look, for collectors, that matters. Nintendo says they won't be making any more of the squids either, so tough luck, mates. There's always a black market, or maybe eBay, since Squid Amiibo magically appeared there with some ambitious pricing. Who would have thought? Speaking of heists and the UK, GTA. Whatever, Rockstar is suing the BBC over a documentary-style movie they were making about video games called Game Changer, which intended to follow the development of GTA, which it described as, quote, arguably the greatest British coding success story since Bletchley Park. Wait, that sounds like a good thing. It even secured a stellar cast. Daniel Radcliffe is Sam Hauser, Bill Paxton is Jack Thompson. What could go wrong here? We want to see Paxton.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
According to Rockstar parent company Take-Two, quote, it is our obligation to protect our intellectual property, and unfortunately, in this case, litigation was necessary. That doesn't necessarily mean the project is dead. They may just be making a play for creative input, but we'll see. Litigation is never a happy word. In the meantime, good luck watching your murder simulators. You're even gonna have trouble on Twitch, you degenerates. Twitch has officially banned streaming on all adults-only rated games, conveniently right before the infamously adults-only game Hatred releases next week. According to Twitch, which has previously banned titles on a case-by-case basis like Honey Pop, Sakura Spirit, BMX XXX, and Dramatical Murder, this isn't a change so much as a clarification. Kind of like when they banned going topless and all that, and they said it wasn't a change at all, really, which is why all these things need announcements, obviously. From now on, no games that have been rated as adults only by the ESRB will be allowed on Twitch. But mature versions of adults-only games like GTA San Andreas are still okay, and don't worry if you're in another country and games there are rated 18+, it's the ESRB that Twitch is looking at. So, games like The Witcher with all of its godless nudity, still totally okay. Which is great, but unfortunately The Witcher has some other things to worry about instead, like a game-breaking bug on Xbox One. Xbox One players have reported being unable to save progress in the game, preventing them from doing much with it since, well, saves are kind of important. The common cause seems to be having left the game idle for a while, after which, nope, can't save. Others have noticed simply getting a cannot save at this time error when trying to save, which really amounts to the same thing. There are a couple of workarounds, like manually clearing the console's cache on locally saved games, as long as you've got cloud saves turned on. If you don't, then sorry. On the bright side, that free DLC from developer CD Projekt Red is hitting as promised. This week brought a new quest and a totally sweet new costume for Yennefer that's got feathers and stuff on it. This follows last week's drop of Temerian armor and new beard and hairstyles for our scarred hero, and puts us a quarter of the way through our 16 days of Witchermas. Xbox One users will also be getting a patch that, in addition to hopefully allowing you to do things like save, will also stabilize the frame rate, and PS4 will be getting a patch to improve performance for cutscenes and gameplay. Everybody wins. Finally, in super exciting news, we got a spicy tamale of information about the now defunct Silent Hills. According to a source who remains anonymous behind his crazy Guy Fawkes mask or whatever, it may not be so defunct after all. In fact, it may get a resurrection thanks to Microsoft, who are said to be in talks to buy the property from Konami, since that publisher is headed for the mobile and gambling market, and it's really hard to get scared at a game when you're sitting on a toilet. It just is. The source says the reason PT disappeared from the PSN store like it did is because that's a good faith move by Konami in these discussions, and the deal could be finalized within weeks for a big announcement by Microsoft at E3. Here's hopes we'll get the game after all. That's the big news for the week. For a full hour of talk about video games with a healthy dose of vodka and poop for some reason, check out this week's episode of The Patch and you'll get all those things. Or if you've played Ori and the Blind Forest, join us for an episode of Game Club and brag about how you had no problem escaping from the Ginzo tree, because I swear to God, I've never been so frustrated with a game, and yet I still love it. If esports are more your speed, we've got a preview of the League of Legends Championship Series, and if you've already watched all that stuff, you're free to go for the weekend. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week. Come on, Norman Reedus!